Tom Clancy's Without Remorse comes to Amazon Prime this weekend and stars Michael B. Jordan. Is this an origin story for Killmonger? We'll talk about it. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Amazon Prime has a new movie. It's called Without Remorse. Today, we're going to talk about it. No spoilers, of course. I need you in the comments down below. Are you excited for this? Are you a fan of Michael B. Jordan? If you enjoy these reviews, be sure to drop your thumbs up down below. Let's get into it. So, John Clark, a Navy SEAL, goes on a path to avenge his wife's murder, only to find himself inside of a larger conspiracy. Clark is one of the most popular characters inside of the author Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan universe, and in this film he is going after a squad of Russian soldiers who comes in, does something detrimental, and the mission that he's on is not only about getting his revenge, but also exposing this plot that is threatening to engulf both countries into an all-out war. So, I guess bigger than we're anticipating in terms of scale, but really we're looking at the small-scale fact that this tragic thing happened to this man who is dead set, and I'm talking very determined, showing that determination as this character to avenge what happened to his family. Now, this is a plot that, of course, we have seen countless times before. It's all about how you either A, reinvent that, or B, just execute it in a way that's entertaining. We're here to see Michael B. Jordan as this character get pissed off, train really hard, and to take some names along the way, and that is exactly what happens. And though I will admit the build-up to that point was maybe a bit slower than I anticipated, and the story as a whole never goes beyond that. Now, I expected it to at least have a bit more depth than it did because Taylor Sheridan is our writer here. And Sheridan, the man behind Hell or High Water, Wind River, Sicario, Yellowstone, you expect greatness from that perspective. And this character is one that so many people hold so close to them, leading into bigger and better things to come within this Tom Clancy universe. At least fans are hoping, right? So there's a lot of anticipation going in, and there are a lot of things that this film has to at least nail or get right. And while it doesn't necessarily nail everything, and again, the story as a whole was underwhelming, I still really enjoyed seeing Michael B. Jordan do what he does. And one really solid thing I can say about the action scenes here is they don't try too hard. And when I say try too hard, that means throw so much at us at one time to where it becomes like almost Transformers scattered and jumbled, messy. You can't really tell what's going on. No, the action here is efficient. It's very evident who is doing what. We get a chance to see the stunt work and fight choreography, and that's always one thing I'm looking for in a film like this that puts so much focus on the action. But again, it does take a little bit to get there because we get this build-up. We kind of establish who some of these side characters are. I believe the movie felt in the first act that maybe we cared more than we actually did about subplots that don't really matter at the end of the day. So they spend a bit too much time over here when all we're doing is sitting back thinking, I just want to get to Michael B. Jordan beating people up. And once we get there, it is thoroughly entertaining. I think a lot of that has to do with Michael B. Jordan as an actor. He puts this film on his shoulders and essentially takes us through some of the parts that I would have otherwise nitpicked and criticized. Stefano Sollima, I believe is how you pronounce his name, who directed the sequel to Sicario, which, comparing it to Sicario, not as good, but I still enjoyed. And then 000, which is like one of the most popular shows over the last few years. So this man knows exactly what he's doing in terms of giving us action, but also establishing this darkness and this sense of pain that our character has throughout the film. Because what happens to him, obviously in the summary, but what happens to him is very dark, and you have to feel the emotion from that. And my big fear at the beginning was that we weren't going to get enough of that from Michael B. Jordan, and we do, even though, again, it's just kind of knowing everything that's going to happen a few scenes before they actually happen, and I'm not aware of the source material, so this was more so just how the story was constructed kind of thing. And then you get into the third act, and they try to do some things where they're saying, we're going to lead you in this direction and then give you this huge reveal that's going to blow your mind in the third act, and then they do it. The problem is, I think everyone who watches this film is going to see that or those reveals coming because they weren't as shocking, as impactful as the movie wanted them to be. And because of that, the predictable nature of it all, I'm just sitting back going, well, it's one of those films where they try really hard with the plot and they don't necessarily execute, which is, again, unexpected because of the writer and unfortunate because of this character. Even though I was happy with the action scenes, I believe everything beyond that, and if Michael B. Jordan wasn't this character, I don't know how much I would have cared about the main storyline as a whole, and that is kind of disappointing at the end of the day. But again, if you're looking for entertainment, I at least think you're going to get that from this film. Sometimes simplicity is beautiful, especially in a movie like this with a star like this. So I believe if you're looking for that specifically, you're definitely going to get it. It's definitely one of those you can kind of turn your brain off and watch, but not be completely frustrated by, because the action is shot very well and you can see all of the choreography that's going on. Without Remorse rides on the shoulders of its star as he gives us an intense performance, but the formulaic nature of the story itself never really allows him to flourish. All of that being said, I'm still going a 60% with my score, and it sets up some nice things to come in the future. Don't leave when the credits hit. Michael B. Jordan is really good as this character, and I wouldn't mind seeing more. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for many more reviews to come this weekend. All right, I'll see you soon.